Let's go.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Store brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1336, June 28, 2024. 102 degrees on this day in 1931, but all we could muster was 47 degrees on two occasions, 1924 and 1895. And the swimming season undoubtedly is underway. I hope you're using the products of Aquaside, a White Bear Lake company. Their products have been hey, how you doing, Joe Biden?
Hey, Tiger.
Have been maintaining great lake shores for more than 60 years with a complete line of lake and pond control products that take care of everything from weeds to algae. The products are easy to use. They work quickly, and the EPA and DNR have signed off. There's no need to let weeds overtake your pond or this or lake shore this summer. Christ, I am sounding like Biden. Call Aquaside today. They'll help you identify your weed problem and make sure your place looks great all summer long.
Yeah.
Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com.
I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he
Not
knows
sure
what he
he
said.
did either.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office.
You
above
did
the
really
boathouse
good,
on the East
Joe.
Shore of Spoon Lake,
You read
it's
all the
Garage
words.
Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner. Kenny Olson.
To me,
from
that
the
might have
Krabby
been the
Coffee
worst
Shop.
part of the evening.
John Haidt in the newsroom. And of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight.
When
king.
that phony
Fireworks
doctor,
commissioner and
Joe
the keeper
Biden.
of common
Doctor.
sense.
Yeah,
I got your doctor right here, Joe.
Look at this.
She might as well have been talking to a 7-year-old T-ball player. The language is the same. Good try, honey. You swung 3 times, you moron, and you missed.
No,
but
you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
We're all winners. That was sad. To me, that was the sad part.
I don't think, though,
ugly.
because when she glowingly tells Joe what a great job she did, I don't think we'll ever use that again on this show.
Why not?
Joe, you did such a great job. You
In reference to the host
I
of the
see.
program.
You answered every question, and you knew all the facts. Oh, my word.
So is he a 6 or an 8 handicap?
Isn't that something? These guys even ended up arguing about golf.
I would play golf with you if you would carry your own bag.
Joe said, I was a 6 when I was vice president. I got it down to a 6. No, you didn't, Joe. There's no way. That's not possible. And Trump,
I think he was talking about his score on the first hole.
Trump, you got a foot wedge that's noticed. It's famous throughout the world, and
Right.
you
Like Judge Smales?
He is,
Is
yes.
that what a foot was?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Judge Smales, and he I won 2 club championships, not even the senior championship. Well, he must play for the house of the
Right.
possibly the infirm or the club for the infirm.
The
touched.
I was telling you, Joe, earlier before the fellas signed on that last night is exactly the kind of thing that social media was made for. Twitter, chief among them, because
So fun.
I don't remember the guy that did it, but you guys remember the video clip of President Biden falling down at one of the commencement addresses at
Yes.
Yes, he tripped over something.
but there was a clip of someone having Trump hit a tee shot at
Yeah.
a golf course, and then a fake ball hitting Biden and him falling down at the commencement.
There's a lot of that, Chris. There's a lot of that.
But it was in reference to the golf.
No, I understand.
You
how
had
that
a
works.
good, we were kind of texting among ourselves last night. You had a good reaction. Biden was so bad that Trump was actually showing empathy towards him.
No, that's not what I texted.
Yeah, it was close.
I said Biden is so bad that Trump should display some empathy. I maintain Trump did not display empathy.
Hold on.
But
Oh, yeah, you did. Needs to be empathetic.
Yeah.
that's the thing. Don't you guys feel sad? I feel sad for Joe Biden.
Look, I feel sad for the country. I said the word look. I apologize.
Wow.
I feel sad for the country. I think it was the most dispiriting night of American politics, certainly in my lifetime.
Well,
I've never seen anything like it.
however, the concept of the rules was pleasant. That did work. There wasn't a crowd there. There wasn't interruptions, or they were minuscule.
If there wasn't a crowd there, who was Jill addressing at the end?
Was the post game.
Did they allow people in for a post game?
I think this was a post game in another part of the.
All right.
You're talking about this clip?
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Oh, that's grating, isn't it?
That was so condescending.
Well, you see him too.
God,
she
must be a piece of work.
His mouth is open and he's nodding like, "Okay, Mom, I did good."
Yeah.
I tuned in about 8 minutes late, and the first question I heard was a question directed at President Trump about cutting taxes for large businesses. And President Trump answered that kind of, but then spiraled off and covered every single little issue he could get in the next couple of minutes. And I thought, wow, that was really, really bad. That was horrible. And then they directed it to President Biden, and that's where he just stalled out and stopped talking and just started drooling.
You mean this clip here?
On the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had.
And when I heard that, it was, well, Trump won. Trump is going to win the election. Biden does not have a chance. And then throughout the evening, and then again this morning, I've watched all the Democrats turn on Biden and say really bad things about him publicly.
What did our dear leader Walls have to say?
He was on the Fox morning show. I don't know what the name of it is, the Fox News Channel morning show. Here is a clip of him talking about the debate.
But at the end of the day, we understand this about two visions of America. One that's a decent man in Joe Biden that cares about what happens to the middle class. And then there's Donald Trump. We know what that looked like. The lie after lie doesn't change the fact that that presidency did not serve this country well. So, but at the end.
They both lie, Tim. I didn't hear a word of truth last night.
But that's how it's being spun this morning is the word lie in reference to Trump.
Walls is just a loyal foot soldier, hoping to be plucked to Washington, D.C.
Chris and I are kind of, we're not as upset as you are. You're very, very upset.
Well, I thought it was dreadful. The whole thing was just dreadful.
Is that coming from the fact that you know Trump is going to win the election?
No, it's coming from the fact that a country that I cherish has been diminished to this level where these two idiots are your choices for president.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing to me. Truly amazing.
Do you think Trump will win the election?
Against Biden, he will. I don't know if he could beat whoever they're going to appoint to replace Biden, because it's terribly clear they can't run Biden. They just can't.
The big shots in the party are sticking with them, but we know they don't.
But they don't tell the truth either.
They don't tell the truth, and they don't make the call. The people that make the call are the contributors, the people that donate, the big money that puts money into the campaign, right? Yeah. Those are the people that make the call.
Who is George Soros calling for?
Well, Biden physically can't do it. And if somebody cared for him, they'd be taking away the keys. He is a lost soul. He is an old 81. You can have some sprightly 81-year-olds. There's millions of them. He isn't one of them.
So
making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
I was surprised at how bad Biden was.
Same. After all that prep work?
I mean, for a week, he was out of touch. They had him squirreled away somewhere practicing.
Go ahead, Ken, because you're going to say what
And I thought they'd have him pumped up like maybe for the State of the State when he came out yelling every word he said.
Like they did for Elvis the last couple of years before every show, just fill him full of
Joe, you got one more Red Bull to drink.
Like he's
Come
an
on.
MMA fighter.
Right. Yeah. But I was very surprised at how bad it was. It was shockingly bad. I couldn't believe it.
But we've been in tune with this for a year. We've watched the decline on a daily basis. I wasn't shocked at all.
And it's because what we have seen is in short snippets. So if I'm thinking to myself, and Kenny, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm thinking if this is what I'm seeing in a 20 to 30 second clip, what's going to happen when this bumbling vegetable gets on stage for 2 hours?
Now, he can't be president. He can't be.
The State of the Union and all the other speeches, he's got a teleprompter or he's got somebody in his ear or something. He had to wing it last night and he can't.
Well, and more importantly, forget the debates. What about the day-to-day operations of the United States of America?
Well, I don't think he's involved.
He's not running the country.
The most powerful nation on earth, and that's who's in charge.
Yeah, and I don't think any differently when I look at Trump, the most powerful nation on earth, and you'd put this psychopathic sociopath in charge. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're talking about two different kinds of crazy, though.
Yeah.
And if you're a Trump supporter, you desperately want Biden to stay in the race because that's a guaranteed victory. And I think last night's debate changed a lot of minds, or I should say made up a lot of minds on who to vote for.
I said this earlier. The country comes down to you've got a third of the people here are going to vote blue no matter who's on the ticket. The other third are going to vote red no matter who's on the ticket. It's the middle third that decides who becomes president of this country.
Chris, there's a great Wall Street Journal piece today about Democrats turning on him, and there's a lot of Democrats publicly turning on him.
Mm-hmm. You want to know who they are?
We'll start with that gal in Nevada, Susie Lee. She said Democrats absolutely need to talk about how to move forward after the debate. It was awful, she said.
Okay, there's something equally as important as that, and that is, to my way of thinking, neither of these fellows are fit for office. Neither of them. The Democrats. What we've always said about the Democrats is they're backstreet fighters. They're going to fight and claw
and
cheat and lie and do whatever they have to do to hold on to power. They're good at it. That's what they do. And they're doing it. As we speak, they're having big time meetings. They are in back rooms. They are running down the list. What are we going to do? We got to beat Trump. How are we going to do it? Joe can't do it. So here's scenario. They're going through scenarios right now. We got scenario A, B, and C. What's the best? Because they're fighting their asses off right now. Republicans, you are ballless. You have nothing. You've put up with this sociopath when you could just as easily have produced a great candidate to run against whoever the Democrats come up with, and you haven't done it. You're pathetic. It's a pathetic party. The Democrats are pathetic, and that's why I said at the beginning of the show, the most dispiriting night of politics I've seen in my lifetime. Neither party is worth a damn. But the Democrats don't care that they're not worth a damn. They're going to fight and fight and fight to hold on to that office, and they're going to, because Trump is not the answer for anybody.
I want to throw in my 2 cents and amend what you just said. I think everything you said about the Republicans was equally true about the Democrats until after the debate last night.
Okay,
and that's when everything you said about the Democrats is absolutely true. Right now, they're conniving and scheming, and they will come up with a plan.
They'll have a plan.
Yeah.
The Republicans are satisfied that their plan is Trump. They're satisfied.
You should always have a backup plan.
If you
always have a plan B.
If you were in charge, and I'm being serious, I'm not being critical. If you were in charge, then what would you do?
I'd say to Trump, go back and win another club championship. I'm going to work behind candidate B here.
Who is candidate B?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too late in the game for that.
That's I kind of.
It's way too late in the game.
You know,
we should have been worried about this 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, as soon as he lost to Biden, that's when that conversation
right after January 6th. Yep, Chris is right. Right after January 6th, this should have been the main focus.
And they're not the fighters that the Democrats are. They're not the connivers.
I think they were. We saw it on so many local elections that people were afraid when asked to say bad things about Trump.
Yeah,
I mean, even with our guy Kendall Qualls,
isn't it most
say a bad thing?
It's mostly because, don't you think, that they just don't really want to alienate the base?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the Republican Party in Minnesota is pathetic.
Well, I couldn't
agree
it's
more. Non-existent.
Pathetic.
Oh, we got
Reusse
that.
Lewis?
Hey, we got that gal in Edina. She's named the left one and the right one.
They don't even know who. they don't even know who she is.
Yeah, they will. She'll be running the party.
They do now.
She's not going to come up anymore.
Got
on the
it,
show.
got it.
That's
Joe.
Gozo.
Yep.
After the debate, Newsom was asked whether he would consider replacing Biden. He said he didn't believe the party should change nominees, quoting, "Our nominee is Joe Biden. I'm looking forward to voting for him in November."
Well, I don't trust Newsom as far as I can throw him. I think he's a dreadful hypocrite, not fit for office. I think he's ruined the state of California. And I have, look, God dang it, I said it again.
Yeah, Joe.
Foghorn me if I say the word look.
You're becoming more and more like him.
Better
Joe.
idea. Better idea. Say the word look. You can just
look.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the...
There's one unnamed Democratic lawmaker, and this is what I'm thinking a lot of Democratic voters are thinking. I'm on my knees praying it's not too late to replace him. Unnamed Democratic lawmaker.
Mm.
Wow.
Is that a quiz? Are we supposed to find out who it is?
My favorite is Biden himself about his debate performance and calls for him to drop out. I think we did well.
Well, didn't you hear Jill? She said he knew all the facts.
You just lost 72-0, and you think you did well.
I can't reconcile this. Biden is needs to be in a Twitch farm somewhere getting some care.
But it proves every single thing that we've thought about his presidency since he took office. He's not running the show.
And who's ever running the show has an agenda that is antithetical to the United States of America.
And that's what, and I told Joe this earlier, you guys, regardless of who replaces Biden on the ticket, the agenda is going to remain the same. It's not, nothing about it's going to change.
I'm so glad you guys used the word agenda. The AP piece, the Play story in the Star Tribune today. Oh my God, that's so funny.
I didn't even bother to read it.
Oh, Joe, it's just awful. Trump is the worst person in the whole wide world, and Joe, he did okay.
Yeah.
Orange man, bad. He mean.
Yeah.
But the agenda is the mystery with that party. It has become the mystery. I'll give Trump this. He doesn't know what the mystery is and doesn't want any part of it.
Nope.
Well, you know what? Last night's debate eliminates global warming, EV, everything else. All these issues that they've been hanging their hat on no longer matter. It's all about the competency of the person in charge.
Mm-hmm. What a mess.
Nobody's talking about climate change today, are they?
No. This maybe ABC will even lead the news tonight with some news rather than a thunderstorm in Ashtabula.
I wonder what Greta Thunberg has to say.
This is such a mess.
Yeah, you're really down about this.
Oh, I am.
Have some fun.
There's nothing fun about this. This is pathetic.
It's Fun Friday.
How? Let me try to. Let me try to help you out.
Friday. Heads down.
How was your life?
I don't know.
How were the 4 years of your life under Trump compared to the 4 years of your life under Biden? Was there any difference? I can answer the question for myself, but you go ahead. Think about it.
The radio business tanked and we got canned, and then we were lucky enough to hang on by the skin of our teeth to get a podcast. That's basically what I remember.
Under Trump.
Yeah.
That's when I started making real money.
But we didn't. The radio business tanked. Advertising tanked.
That had nothing to do with
Well,
Trump.
I'm just saying. He said, what were your 4 years under Trump?
I see what you're saying.
During the 4 years under Trump, we lost the show.
In my
I'm not
4 years.
blaming Trump. We just lost the show. Now, I was up in Brainerd area. I'll never forget this during the Trump administration, and people couldn't have been happier. They were so flush with business, and these small town cab companies were becoming. I have to have 3 cars now, and on and on and on. And people were happy. Maybe one thing I learned is maybe it just doesn't make a damn bit of difference who the president is. There's
it's House and Senate, isn't it? It's judges.
Yeah, it just. I don't know. You claim you were making a lot of money during Trump?
The first few years of the podcast, I did pretty well. When was the first year of the podcast?
Well, the podcast is now stronger than it was the first few years of the podcast.
But here's what I will say.
Well,
from a business standpoint, listen to me now. Look.
Don't say look. I'm bad enough.
From the business angle of things, you want to talk to either a small business owner or you want to talk to anyone in the mortgage industry, the real estate business, they are begging for a Trump presidency.
Interest rates are pretty high right now.
Begging for
I can't
anybody. Sorry, Ken. It has nothing to do, Joe,
You're
with
right.
Trump, orange man, bad. He is a sociopath. It has everything to do against the woke agenda that's bankrupting everybody.
Joe, I can't refinance either one of my places to put new siding on. The interest rate is outrageous.
Yeah,
and that is a direct correlation with policy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I was going to be this good today.
Well,
you got to take a day. You better take tomorrow off.
I better. Maybe all next week.
Overheat. You don't overheat.
It's just such a bleeping mess.
I couldn't agree more.
God almighty.